And this I'm going to wait before I say names. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
That is Master People. That is Jay Smooth. Welcome back to the broadcast. Oh, are we getting ready to go to the danger zone, Jay Smooth?
I just wanted to match people.
Oh, okay.
Worried about all the sun in his eyes all of a sudden.
All the glare.
Organized this.
Oh, okay. Pupil's wearing glasses this time. Okay, now I see.
And Pupil's the one at the beach wearing the jacket and the hoodie.
I'm putting things together now. It's all connecting. Okay, that took a moment. Back on track. Master Pupil. Question of the day. Bright and shining moment. Favorite time in World of Tanks. Anything you got to say for it?
Yeah, I definitely have to say 2 seasons ago when we won first place and I was able to hold up the finals trophy for NA. You know, we didn't expect to beat Simp, but we beat them the exact same way we beat them in the very beginning of the season, which was just, the cherry on the top.
It was poetry.
Yeah, it's an amazing moment. I think about it all the time, honestly.
Oh, man, that's touching. Jay Smooth, what's yours? I know you've got a few stories to tell.
Too many. I've had a lot more fun on these face-offs than doing the games. Been great. All the different names, all the different players, all the different live events. Shoot 5, 6 different live events. It's always a good time. It's a different community. Too fun. And I love. For the first time, I finally get to do a face-off with Master Bieber over there. He's the cutest guy in the league. I think all the little girls love him. And I know he's got a spot in your heart too, Randall. So give him a wink, Master.
Can you do that for us, Master Pupil?
It's not the glare is bad, but
Okay, that works. Ladies, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let's talk about this one. This is Rival versus eClipse. This is a tough match. eClipse, your favorite in this. Rival, does it go without saying? I think it goes without saying. Rival, how are you guys going to stick into this one, man? You guys picked 2 maps that are actually, Rock said, the worst maps that eClipse has got. So, have you guys been strategizing? Are you ready with some secret tactics, some YOLO plays, some Highway to the Danger Zone a little bit, Struggle Bus?
Well, you named so many. No, we're going to go out there and do what we can. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of pressure on us. We're not up there in the standings fighting for the life. So we're just in here to do what we can and try to finish on a high note. We came into the second half of the league last season, and we did just fine, made our way up, finished with a respectable finish. So we're looking to bounce back again and make the changes and hopefully cook up a little something here for our pals.
All right. Well, Master Pupil, looking over at you right now. Since Tigers came back into this lineup, there's been an obvious uptrend in your form. You're starting to perform a lot better. How much do you credit that to Tigers coming back in and his calling, or how much is that just the team coming together and playing better as a whole?
I mean, I think it's both. We've been practicing a lot more recently, as well as having Tigers. The cohesion's just coming back to us. We're starting to get back to, like I said, old eClipse. So the focus fire is just becoming a lot better. It's like becoming a second. It's becoming just like an instinct. Honestly, it's like we don't even have to discuss it anymore at this point, and it's just we're starting to climb back up to what we'd like to be at, or where we'd like to be at.
Okay. Well, before we get into this battle, Master Pupil, do you have any final words for your opponent?
Yeah, I mean, you got us in the danger zone, man, but I don't know. I think we're going to have to super slam you.
All right, Jay Smooth, your response.
The other.
Oh, you can take that super slam, and we'll take it. But we're going to come right on back because you guys smell something?
Yeah.
No, Rockstar. I'm not talking about that half-melted candy bar that you're waiting to have at the end of this match.
How did you
I'm
know?
talking about the piece of humble pie we've been cooking up, looking to feed out to the rest of you in the last 7 matches. Let you know it's tasted nice and fine the first half. We want to share it with the rest of you. So we're going to come out with the people's elbow. We're going to show you what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring the rival nation and the old school simple taker nation.
Breach it.
And we're coming right into the danger zone for you. If you smell...
Oh, preach. Amen, brother. Amen. We'll see you on the battlefield. Oh, yeah. Okay, Jay Smooth's here. He's ready to go.
I will say, just to address it, it's cookies, not a candy bar.
It is, in fact, actually cookies. Yeah, can you reach them right? They're a little out of reach, aren't they?
No, too far.
So there are, in fact, snacks Rockstar has ready. They are slightly melty. J Smooth is freaking psychic.
That was weird.
That was awesome. But
at least they're ready to go. They're willing to have fun right now. So that's where teams can get dangerous. Is when they're in this sort of zone where they just don't have anything left to care about and they're just going for it. That's where teams can get dangerous because you never know what they might throw at you.
Oh yeah, this match should be fun. I think Rivals decided that it's time to show us what it's all about. Show us that old school rival that doesn't really care, that's going to pull out a win just because they're a rival. That's why. So I'm down for that.
We'll
and then Eclipse is finally getting back to where they need to be, and that's the funny part.
Yep. And Cliff, first map of the night, is actually one of the maps that Eclipse have really struggled to perform on this season. They used to be really good at it, and then they went to the Global Grand Finals. They played Cosmic Crew on it. Cosmic Crew said, hey guys, we really know how to play a Cliff. And at that point, Eclipse just never really had that same sort of...
Did you say Eclipse?
Eclipse. On Cliff.
Okay.
They never really got that same, to steal Lettuce word, they never got that same sort of swagger back into their Cliff play after that.
They just had a traumatic moment. They really couldn't look back at it. Every time they're on the map, there's just like, there's this tension. Okay.
Pretty much. Just the same as M60's last season.
Oh, no. That's not so bad. Well, we've had a fun time getting ready for this match. Let's go ahead and head into battle number 1.
Cliff, the most dynamic map in the league. Battles on Cliff always turn into desperate double-edged fights. Teams start from the same spots as they do in standard battles. The first base is located near the defender's spawn point, and the second is at the bottom of the hill. Sometimes teams split their forces and send several tanks through the 1-2 line to the left of the small hill, but usually both teams play at the center. The attacking team can send one of the tanks up to the lighthouse or behind it. Fast and quick-firing vehicles are better suited for this map, mainly medium tanks, including tanks equipped with autoloaders.
And lineups coming in: Eclipse, an E5, 5 Batchats, and an M4043. Rival, a Kronwagen, 5 Batchats of their own, and an RU-251.
All right, so without Artie, Rivals on defense. Attacking Eclipse, they have an artillery piece and plenty of Batchats, along with a T110 E5. Now, that E5, as opposed to a Kronwagen, I want to ask, what is your opinion, Rockstar? Because to me, it seems like the Kronwagen is the easy choice these days.
E5 brings the consistent fire and slightly better DPM is the main points there. They both work ridges fairly well. Kronwagen a little bit better. Doesn't have, as you like to call it, the Empire State Hatch on top of it. But it does have, once again, the consistent fire, which when you have the Kronwagen with the, for no better word, the abysmal DPM that it has.
It relatively is of course
compared to everything else on the battlefield, absolutely.
Yeah. But functionally, not so bad. And there, photo finish. I like that from all the way over in Hotel 2-3. He's actually in the low ground position, not commonly used, and he gets early fire towards Commander J, who spots over the hill. And so this position is something we don't always see. Nice. I do enjoy seeing stuff like this every once in a while. So watch out for this in your new pub battles, maybe.
But I do like this because what it sets Eclipse up to do is they can start working the hill, they can use him to cover, and they can in fact turn around and cover him as well. But then the late game, when they want to open up that 2-line, they have the E5 with the gun depression to roll in here and take a bunch of shots, get into the face of these Batchats, and make them back off. And then they have Dark God Zim and that M4043 ready to cover him. So this E5 won't come into play until later in the game, but we'll have to see how effective he can be when it is time for him to shine.
All right. Well, for battle number 1, Rocks, I think we should take a listen into Eclipse, see what they're up to, and how they're going to start off this series.
Activated already.
Just let the already work, and then after a little bit of time, we'll move up the E5. Just T1, make sure you're not getting shot from the west and the
yeah. I'm not letting anything on hill. I'm not lit. I'm on top of the hill now, so.
We're in a good place. T1, just make sure you don't expose to either here or here. Be pretty conservative up there.
I'm just trying to see if I get lit.
Zim, I can move here for a light if you want me to. I'm going there. I'm going for a light. I want you to watch this. I'm going to push up to the 6th line, the 5-6, and I want you to watch this to try and move up just a little bit, okay? That way you can get a shot if they're trying to shoot me.
That.
What's the same, Ben?
I got lit by the Batchat shooting from center. Yeah, there's a Batchat camoed up here.
Okay, well, if you light him, I'll hit him.
I don't know if I can push this.
Is it in the bush? Is it in the bush in there? Because Zim can blind fire that if he's there.
Yeah, Zim, blind fire the bushes. He's on the bushes down low in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's by the ramp.
It's in the middle between the rocks.
Ramp?
Yeah, but below the ramp, in the bushes between the rocks. You can go ahead and blind fire that.
Yeah, blind fire. I don't know.
Did you hit anything?
Maybe.
I'm keeping my shells.
Maybe splash, but not.
You hit a rock, so.
I know.
I'll try and. Yeah, I'm gonna try and light him though, but I'll try and be safe about it. There's something there though. There he is.
Yeah. He's splashing.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
Do you have another shot ready? Is someone covering?
4 seconds, but he's behind the rock.
If he pokes on him.
He's safe behind that rock.
I'm gonna move up a little bit.
I only had a shot like on this track and then he backed off.
Well, he can poke on me and light me whenever he wants there, so I'm gonna have to stay
But
safe.
they will take free line first.
Yeah, you can blind fire it a couple times though.
Nope, Kron.
Alright, you guys on the hill stay safe and back off. Let's get ready to counter rotate down the 1-2 lane.
Donut?
Yeah, we're gonna take donut. These 3 bats back off.
I'll try. Trying to stay.
I mean, the RU is gonna light us, but I don't know.
Just make sure you don't get lit by that bat chat. Don't get lit by the bat chat.
Not gonna be able to stand.
Yeah, come to me and then come off this way. Come off here.
I'll light. That charge just pipes back.
You got lit?
Yeah, we should be okay.
Right.
You got it from the guy in the middle, Nick.
This is by the bat chat.
Cran pushing up.
Yeah.
Alright, we gotta move, Nonik. And XO, come with us. Was not lit. Okay, Photo, you can go ahead and move.
I'm just gonna go. I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they have like 1, 2, 3 tanks here.
There's 3 on hill. Let's just win the 2 line.
Did you go lit?
No.
Good.
Just careful of the counter push, sure.
That is.
A lot of little things there from eClipse, but no big plans revealed.
Yeah, it looks like they've... Usually comms like that indicate that everyone already knows what's going on.
They've already gone over the strats. They've done enough practice. They know what they're going for. It's just a matter of executing now.
Exactly. There's no explanations needed to be had. There's no explaining anyone what they're going to do. It's let's take the donut. Everyone knows exactly.
Put some shots into Unknown 1.
Nice.
It's a second connection. Has Unknown 1 down to 1,000.
Not bad. Unknown 1 has to probably burn his kit for that.
Executives finds a shot onto T1. Batchat's over now on the 3 line. Haven't been spotted. Photo just gets spotted now. And now if Executive sticks his neck out again, he might take some damage.
We shall see. The stack up, though, from Arrival. There's a lot of tanks that have placed themselves right on the hill. And with EXO as far in the backfield with No Nick moving up, do you think that's risky, or do you think that's going to pay off for Eclipse? Because if you see a strong enough counter push by Rival on the hill, do you think they would be able to deal enough damage, get enough of a lead with that the tanks like EXO all the way in the northwest wouldn't be able to support properly? Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, but at this point, they have Flack pretty much pinned. They'll be able to take him down. He'll be able to get close enough to provide supporting fire. He just needs to get to basically where we're around Flack sitting now to have shots towards the hill. So it just depends on where the brawl ends up taking place on the hill. If it's on the very top of the hill, then yeah, he's not going to get any shots off. But if it happens on the backside of the slope, or it's Eclipse that forced the push, then I think we may see something, see a way for EXO to get involved there.
Okay. But yeah, it probably would be a strong play for Rival to just push up and over, group up and take the Batchats off the backside of the hill. Of course, the damage they take for it is fairly significant, but as of right now, what I'm looking at is Eclipse very, very slowly just getting a win, right? This looks
they're
like...
They're still down on HP by about 1,000. Now they're positioning themselves well.
It just looks at the time. That's the factor that's going to change this.
2.5 minutes. They're decently positioned, but they have to execute, and they're not leaving themselves enough time to chase these Batchats around, because as soon as a brawl breaks out, all it's going to take is a couple Batchats to fire their shots and then scramble. and they can get far enough away that they could draw this out.
Exactly. So in a minute or two, Rival probably goes for some kind of pressure. Looks like Executus is going to move up. Looks like Knight's going to be going in for... shots into T1. Barely goes a little high. Now looking towards Tigers. Unfortunate miss for Knight.
Photo puts one into Commander J, 379. Tigers just taking a lot of damage, sticking out, getting the track shot on Commander J. Vetro pushing up onto the Kronwagen, but taking a lot of damage. T1 coming in to try to simp for him. Does block one shot from J Smooth. They're playing it perfectly. They should be able to take down J Smooth. They do, and they know that the Kronwagen's reloading, so they're going to force cap or pressure onto him right now as well. Vetro's low on HP. Knight knowing that, going for the ram. Vetro smartly backing off, and now both the Batjets are reloading, and now it's the Kronwagen turn to get shots off.
And Vetro might even be able to take down Commander J, who was on his way to support. Not
Tigers comes out, and now Vetro is going to pull this Kronwagen into Tiger's gun. But now the Batjets are coming along on the low side. No Nick and Photo putting shots into Tesla.
Oh,
and now Knight's just going for the Goomba. He's going down, but he almost just flipped himself.
Yeah, that's strong play right there from Vetro. He made that take a while.
But now look at this. Eclipse are in a great position, but this is what I was worried about. Only a minute left. A Batchat and a Kronwagen left alive. If they can get far enough away and draw this out, they only have a minute to work with. Now there's a lot of HP and a lot of guns, and they are Batchats left alive for Eclipse. They should be able to close the distance. Executus gets caught out by T1. Photo picks up the kill, and now it's just down to Knight in this Kronwagen on the side of the cliff. Vetro right above him has him lit. Exo coming around on one side. On the other side, Photo finishing the E5, and this is going to be a 1-0 win in favor of Eclipse.
Should be. Just a second. Nice early play. Got to give it to Knight there for a moment. But I think Nonik is going to go for the Goomba. Not going to need it. Exo's going to get the final kill. Well, it looked like Eclipse was going to have trouble making some kind of play, but not bad.
Not a problem.
Not a problem at all. I was surprised. I thought that would not go quite so quickly. Everything from Eclipse, from Rival, just kind of
get it out there, Randall. Come on.
Everything from Rival just died all of a sudden. I don't know why. Why did they just die all of a sudden?
Part of it has to come with near perfect teamwork from T1 Diabetic and Vetro. They took on J Smooth and Knight in the Kronwagen. T1 went up there, fired his shots, ate a bunch of the shots from the Kronwagen, and then or Vetro did anyways, and then T1 Diabetic came up, simped in front of him, blocked them, and then they got the kill onto J Smooth, and they had known that the Kronwagen already fired his shots. And so they took him out, and from that moment on, it was Eclipse basically in control of the fight because they had the high ground, they had the extra guns, and they had the HP.
Yeah, and I loved the positioning out of each and every Batchat. It was like every single Eclipse tank had the perfect intuition, and they understood just when to move and just when not to. Because I saw members of Rival just go for the shot that otherwise I was like, okay, that's absolutely going to be damage 100% of the time to me.
Yep.
And then a miss. And then one more. And it was all these tiny, subtle jukes by Eclipse players, just showing how good they are individually. Everyone on Eclipse seems to be on point today. So this should be a challenge for Rival to get anywhere into this match.
They slowed that down. They had their game plan. They knew what they wanted to execute. And then they just went about it. We listened into their comms. It was a little bit of just positioning, moving around, kind of working things out. But there wasn't some sort of masterclass in calling by Tigers, kind of like we saw by Rude the other day, going, this is what they're doing, this is what we're going to do.
You don't need that.
Exactly. When you have this sort of preparation, it was Eclipse going, look, we already know what we're going to do. We're going to go for stop number one. We're going to see if we find any spots. They find Executus. They know he's there. I try to work him out. All right, well, now we know that this isn't going to work, so we're going to go to plan B. They rotated out, opened up a new angle, and that's what ended up working for them.
It's the kind of personality you would expect out of someone who's like a doctor. You know, your doctor sees things every day that would make you cringe. But he's just like, oh yeah, broken leg.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're just going to go about fixing this and doing that. That's what Eclipse is like. They're just so professional that
seen it before, really, and when you have the experience of someone like Dark God Zim on this team as well, they're just able to do it so well.
Lineups, Rob.
Rival going with the Vivo La France lineup, bringing 5 Batchats and 2 Tier 9 Bats. Eclipse coming in with a Batchat, a TVP, 4 more Batchats, and a UDIS.
I like the UDIS pickups. I'm beginning to become a fan of the UDIS. It hits hard enough. It's tiny.
It's very small, and it's a mountain goat, essentially.
Yep. The last part's one of my favorite bits. because I love climbing up on the hills.
It's a tank destroyer that can act like a scout tank when it needs to.
Yes. It's kind of what I wish the ELC had been long ago. And this opening move from Rival. Strong west side play, 2 bats up against the southern part of the hill. And what's that going to be trying to pick off early on? Will it pick anything off is kind of the real question, I guess.
This sort of setup would work better if the positions, the T1 Diabetic and Exo, weren't a thing, but the fact that they can sit at D3 and D4 on the backside of that slope in the rocks and the bushes, it makes it so they don't really have to cross to get any sort of donut control, and that's pretty much what this is set up for, is donut control and to have a crossfire towards the mid. Instead, they can sit there for free, hold their crossfire, and make Rival the team that has to make their first move.
Yeah. And we'll go ahead and listen to Rival as they prepare themselves for their first engagement.
Here. Are we able to get down here and crossfire him?
I think I want to own the top of it, though.
Guys, Tigers? Yeah. No? Okay. What I'm thinking is, once we have some a little bit more efficient control up here, and figure out if they have anyone up on the hill, we'll do a push down the one line declared out.
You want me to poke here?
I'll see if I can light it.
Don't know the reason, I guess, unless. But I'm just thinking, is there a way to crossfire this guy out?
I got spotted.
Yeah. I'm moving down.
That's what you got spotted?
Yeah, I think. And flag?
Maybe you guys being spotted from D1?
No, we got spotted from here because we're looking both on the hill.
Okay, let's pull 3 bats out. Just 3. And we're gonna take the one line, okay? We're gonna push up. And go all the way to A1 and go to A2.
Black and J.
3 bats.
Go with them.
I got lit as
Oh,
well.
fuck. I thought
They have a guy down in here, so watch.
I got lit.
We
I'm
going?
not sure from which.
They're UDES's.
There's something in D1.
Somebody here.
He ran because I didn't get lit.
Okay.
I think it was their D.
So just get ready to push. Get
You
ready
still
to
want
push.
3?
Yeah.
Wait.
What are you guys doing? Go together.
Yeah, like just group up and go. Cover.
I'm nothing lit on this second part.
This guy can stay here if he's too far back, but you need to clear out that. Okay, guy up there. Hey, Exec, we have shots on T1.
I know there's 3 of us here. The other guy's running.
Can the guy up here, like, come and shoot him while he's leaving, or?
Oh, Vetro's now up top.
Pull back to me, Exec.
Exo keeps spotting me. There's something there. The ooze, I guess.
Just gonna reload and then push it.
Oh, might as well. Should I get out?
Okay, Vetro's down.
If we light this, I can.
Can we pull? Wait, can you not get to A2?
Couldn't get the lights for EJ.
All right. A little risky right there at times, but Knight's able to save Executus from going down. Strong play by Executus as well to stay alive. Vetro losing his position on the top of the hill and giving that to Rival.
Well, he almost took out Executus, but then Knight came in and had a full clip, had all his HP, and just blew him off.
Yeah. And then, now he's gone. So, Eclipse is doing all right.
Just one step ahead of Rival. Pretty much always able to get the damage off first. Ready for the rotations that Rival are doing, kind of predictable. Put out a lot of fire towards Rival when they made that opening push.
And now just Rival's going to swap sides of the map.
They're regrouping. They're coming up towards the top.
It'll just be a minute or two. Give Rival a second to get into position once they are.
Shot from another one on the Tigers. Second shot. Him and Nonik just looking for shots. They know that their rotation is going to be coming. They spot Flack and J Smooth. J Smooth taking a shot for 412. Second shot, 849. He's about to go down.
Oh, not quite. He's got cover. He'll be safe for just a... He peeked. He peeked back out. J Smooth peeked back out.
So what were you saying about him being safe?
He peeked back out, Rox. He peeked when he should have ducked. He dipped when he should have dived. He dodged when he should have ducked.
Exo picks up Commander J in the low ground, cleans that up. Now they're going to know where Rival are. They're going to know that their last 5 tanks and 6,000 HP are all up on the high ground. Unknown One, the only one off by himself over at F2, where he's going to have that crossfire towards the mid. He's going to make Eclipse's life a little bit difficult, but nothing they can't overcome, especially because of the fact they have 3,000 more HP and all 7 guns still alive.
Yeah, and this is a matter of time now. Flak's pushing forward, Knight's up top. Damage being dealt in the Flak and to Knight. We've got Dark God Zim sniping out Flak. Flak doesn't have any chance against Photo Finish. And Nonix on the way up to help out against. That is Knight, I believe. Well, all Executives should still be up there too, right? Up on the hill?
Knight and Exec are still up there, but Executives is 44 HP, so he'll be the first one focused out when they make a push. And actually some shots going into Nonick from Flak in the low ground. Now Knight's getting more aggressive on the high ground. 1,100 into Nonick.
Yeah, and with that, Knight's even going to come hunting. Although, a bit risky right there from Knight. Though, is he really going to do this? There's no way he's really going to go over for Nonick.
The problem is they know Knight's over here now, and they know that Executive is still up in the hill, so Vetra is just going to go hunting for him, try to take him down, because he knows that Knight is no longer in a position to support him. And as Knight realizes this, that he needs to cover Executus, Vetro backs down, has plenty of time, and now Nonick's getting more aggressive on his side.
Yeah, but Vetro should know that Knight can't possibly cover Vetro. There's no way that he can actually functionally do that. Because if he does, he's going to take enough damage that he should just evaporate, right?
You would think. Shots have to be made.
You're right. The connection should have to actually happen, but reasonably Knight would lose if Vetro actually just pressured up. If he just went up top and just tried to kill Executives. However, I guess... Oh, Knight goes for it against Nonick.
Takes the first shot.
Takes
Nonick
2.
Takes a second. And this is going to be Knight actually losing this fight. Nonick managed to stay alive. Tigers finally gets up there just in time. Vetro picks up the kill onto Executus. And now with 2 minutes left, 3 guns remain for Rival. All 7 still alive for Eclipse. We are a minute and 50 seconds away from being 2-0 in favor of Eclipse.
That we are. And, well, there's not much to be said about it. It's just the skill of Eclipse against Rival and their little cheeky strats. They do what they can, but...
They're cheeky strats?
Cheeky strats. Well, this one's not so cheeky this time. This is just fairly standard, lightly aggressive, high risk, but some reward there. And
I saw a lot more risk than I did reward.
That's what I saw too.
T1 gets the track onto Unknown One. Unknown One burns his repair kit, but at this point, T1's going to win the brawl.
Can't take me alive. Yes, you can.
Well, no, they didn't take him alive. They just took him out. He'd still be alive. He didn't die.
Yeah, he does. But usually you say you can't take me alive when you jump off the cliff and you just...
Okay, Randall. I got you. I get what you mean.
In tanks, it's an expression.
Go out with a blaze of glory. Looking at it, T1.
Yeah.
Doing decent damage. Everyone on Eclipse did pretty good damage there. And Rival obviously struggled to get in there. And Vetro even struggling early on. J-Smooth, this is the moment where he just peeks out a little bit too far. And T1, I wonder, was that shot even blind?
Yeah, it was. J-Smooth had gone dark. And what he did is he tucked in, got tight on the building, and
T1 just timed it, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is T1 fired one more, and then J-Smooth poked out, and then there was one more shot to follow that one, and he caught it.
T1 having a great fantasy night, 64 fantasy points. Vetro, one of the most picked players from Eclipse in our fantasy league, doing 60 points, 2,300 damage, 2 kills. Not bad there. Flak, top performer for Rival at 1,500. And then the second page is going to be filled with a lot of Rival players that really struggled to get in there, but it's not so much any one of theirs fault, it's just the strat as a whole just didn't stand up to Eclipse's overall positioning.
Yeah. When you just play around with the flanks for a defensive strat like that on Cliff, all you end up doing is damaging yourselves. If you find that focal point and you focus your energy on dealing with one tank there, you might have a little bit more progress made, if you get my drift. Because when you play defensively on Cliff, what you're going to do is you're going to set up an opening strategy, and you're going to actually, instead of sitting back passively and letting your opponent come to you, you're going to actually have to go to the top of the lighthouse. You're going to have to position up in the west and the east side, right? You're going to have to actually put yourself out there. Because if you don't go quite far enough, your opponent's going to dictate the entire battle to you. They're going to have the greatest, easiest positions to get into to cover, and they'll be just fine. But what we saw from Rival was they went and met their opponent in the middle, and they said, all right, our opponent's here. We'll try and fight them out, and it didn't pan out. And after that, they decided, okay, let's try a different way. And it just didn't pan out again.
One of the few bright spots Rival have had is going to be the next map that we're going to. They got 2 wins on it against top tier. Let's see if they can break out the same magic today.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
All right, Rox, talk to me.
Clips, a 113, 250Bs, an IS-4, an IS-7, a Batchat, and a 1390. Rival, 2 113s, 250Bs, an IS-7, a Batchat, and a 1390. Both teams bringing 3 heavy tanks apiece. IS-4, an interesting choice for Eclipse just because it's a tank we don't really see a whole lot. Great tank to put in a position where it's not going to move a whole lot, where it needs to be tough to kill. I've compared it before to a Honey Badger just because it can sit in a place, it can just be ferocious, it can last for a long time, bounce a lot of shots, and deal a decent amount of damage. The gun isn't the best of the heavy tank guns, but it still does its job.
Of course. Opening scout run, 1390, going for a little halfway there, spotting through the ruins, gets J Smooth spotted. Same time, T1 Diabetic, going around to the south, goes for a loop, finds nothing. And that's because this is a strategy we've seen before. We've seen this from Rival, haven't we?
We've seen this out of both teams, essentially. This is very similar to what Top Tier did on their Himmelsdorf defense, just setting up with an 8-line trap. A little bit different setup, spread out a little bit more. But yeah, essentially, this is the same strat we saw at Rival the other day, setting up for an ambush in the south, scouting around, letting Flak in the IS-7 be the scout IS-7, get forward, set up in the window, try to spot some stuff. Flak not running any special equipment outside of the normal setup, so not really set up for vision, but you don't really necessarily need a whole lot of vision. The only time where you'll see binos on those is if they're trying to spot all the way across. We see tanks play the D4 corner there. Sometimes they'll bring binos or coated optics, try to spot down to the church all the way in the south, catch teams out rotating, but that's not the case this time.
And yeah, what do you think is what's the trigger here that Rival's waiting for?
I don't think it's so much a trigger. I think they're just waiting for some poor fellow from Eclipse to get too aggressive, to wonder where their team is, and to make this push. But what they don't know is that you'd only see that with Eclipse if they were running a hard 1-2 line defense. Because when they're running the hard 1-2 line defense, they need to make sure they clear it and they move back to that 2 cap so they don't get caught out from some sort of fast cap. Because if you take too long, you're down in that K1 spot. If their team puts cap pressure on their side and you don't have enough guns in position to respond, you get caught out. So this strat isn't going to pan out for Rival as far as the ambush. Now, the second phase may work. But what Eclipse don't, or what Rival aren't considering, is the fact that Eclipse in this case are actually on the other side of the map, not doing the stereotypical 1-2 line defense that we see so often in this league. And so now they're going to go into the second phase of their strat, which should actually find some tanks.
In a moment it will. If they aren't found first, actually, as Dark God Zim is in a position to be spotting, and well, these are heavy tanks. Their camo's not going to be nearly as good, and so they should be spotted out crossing. Commander J certainly is, and shots should come from the north exo, connecting one into Commander J, and J Smooth is the only one able to get out there without being spotted.
Has a bounce from the 1390, gets up against the little building right there. Took 2 shots for his trouble, though. Dark God Zim getting caught out. 447, a high roll from the 50B there.
What's the play now? Put tanks on cap.
113s come up. They need to find a way to get this 1390 out because he has the guaranteed resets. Knight actually does take a shot to his ammo rack, has the burner repair kit. Zakum's going to stop on cap, but Unknown One's going to push all the way up.
Commander J even able to get a shot into T1. J Smooth now moves up. He's going to try and 1v1 versus Dark God Zim. He's got the health pool advantage.
But look at this. This is very similar to the play we saw yesterday. No one has eyes on the 8 line. Did Rival not learn from this the other day? Now Vetro spotted. Now Flak knows he's in trouble. But 2 tanks have already gotten in behind.
And yeah, we'll see how that works out. The west side of the map, we've got the squaring off of J Smooth and Dark God Zim. Looks like Dark God Zim will take one more, and that's going to finish him off. J Smooth's going to live a little bit longer. And with that, cap pressure, not going to be a huge factor. J Smooth getting on cap with the 113s from Unknown One and Zakum moving in on Exo. And that should actually set the tone for this one. That'll put Rival in control, dictating the pace here to their opponent. It's going to be up to eClipse as to whether or not they can respond.
The problem is, eClipse still have more HP, more guns. Well, actually, they have less guns, just more HP at this point. They're coming in right now. We'll have to see if they can still salvage this. But something to note is Rival now will actually have the A4 spot. They'll have a better position to get the cap on the 2 cap, having control of this north. Problem is the rest of those tanks from eClipse, the few guns they have left alive, are coming in hot on their tails and are going to leave them in a very awkward spot right now.
Yes. But Bat Chat just went down. That's T1. And now with No-Nick pushing in, I don't think he quite realized exactly what he was getting into. Because Executus has now just shown up right behind him. Bat Chat should be able to get the kill. And now, there's actually only 3 tanks left alive for eClipse.
But
and
they have so much HP.
They do. But with less guns, you're going to be able to put out significantly less damage. And if Rival can keep a few of these guns alive, if Commander J can stay alive a little longer, Executus as well should be able to absorb some shells. Keep the guns on the battlefield. You're going to be able to catch up once you're able to deal at least a few volleys of damage, right? That's where Rival has a chance.
And they're doing that. Their back is actually top on HP now. They only have 4 guns alive, lost 1 in the process. Photo's going to push in. They are going to try to get Unknown One out. Unknown One not even looking at Photo. They've been counting the shells from Executus. They know that he's on reload. So they're going to take this time to try to get out the consistent fire tanks while they have this window.
Yes, and Tigers is incredibly low on hit points. He's going to be forced to move up against J Smooth and try and get that kill. But J Smooth's playing it smart. He understands how to take on a heavy tank.
Now Rival are down on HP. They still have 4 guns alive, but almost everyone is a one-shotter except for Knight, who has his ammo rack damaged.
Oh no. It's tricky. This is going to be incredibly close, actually. And
but notice
nice track shot from J Smooth. Does he realize what he has? Oh, a bounce.
Here's the biggest thing to notice. Look at Executus. He's been gone for a while.
Knight.
Oh, he's still in the same spot.
Knight
still
gets
there.
a kill. Knight picks up the kill. That's it. J Smooth's now free to roam around. He's got no shells reloading. Let's look at Unknown One. He's sitting pretty.
If Vetro can get 1 kill before he goes down, I think Photo Finish can do this. He has 2 shots of HP. Everything left alive is essentially a one-shotter except for Executus. And even then, Executus isn't safe. 466 is not out of the 25% RNG for the average alpha of this IS-4.
Yes, and by the way, Knight's going to be holding on to 1 shell because he's ammo racked right now. And if he is to reload, chances are he might not be able to be relevant to the fight later on. So we're going to have a 50B with 1 shot only.
And this is what I was talking about. Executus and the Bat Chat's going to sneak away. Get over towards the courtyard. He gets spotted. Vetro gets spotted as well. Missed shot from Executus. Executus takes 1 shot and misses a second, and Vetro picks up the kill. That may have just handed the victory to eClipse.
Maybe, but it's not over quite yet. If Knight can sink a shell into Vetro.
Jason is going in behind. He's unspotted. Now this is going to leave Photo Finish in a weird place because Unknown One is staring at him from the front. He knows that if he turns around, Unknown One's going to come pull forward. Vetro's going to look for the kill on the Unknown One, not be able to get it, and Jason is going to pick up Photo. No, Vetro's going to get him first.
Good cover right there. That's going to do it. Now, HE? Is that how this ends? Does this end with HE, Rockstar?
It could. It certainly could. 209's even not without the realm of possibility. A missed shot from Photo, that's going to give Unknown One an opportunity. The only saving grace is this IS-4 armor is tricky. Heat shells struggle against it.
Unknown, not quite angling himself. 1 minute 58. And he gets it. Unknown puts it right into the turret, right up top. Photo Finish catches it with his commander's hat. Not his commander's hat, actually. It's
but now
gunner's hat.
There's one person that you don't want to be left alive, but it doesn't matter because Knight actually gets the snap onto Vetro while moving out of the train station.
He held onto that shell. It had his name written on it. It was meant for him.
So, I said right before this game that there was one bright spot that Rival have had recently, and that's been on this map. They got the wins versus top tier. They looked actually like they had a game plan. They understood the rotations. Even though their stats don't say it, I really think this is Rival's best map at the moment.
Yeah, and what they did is something unlike what a lot of other teams will go for. And they decided that, all right, instead of stopping on the cap and trying to focus on getting their cap pressure, we saw different elements of the team working on simultaneous objectives in fairly coordinated fashion. If you would have noticed, we realized some members were ignoring the bat chat. We saw Knight come in and save Joel from Tigers. We saw then this. I liked it. 1390, 50B comes into cover. Vetro covering his battle buddy, but play after play after play, counter upon counter.
That was such a great play from Rival as well, because what it did is it left Photo in a very awkward situation. If he turns around to try to shoot J-Smooth, one, J-Smooth can quickly back up into cover, and two, that means he has to turn his turret from a known one who can then peek out and shoot the back of Photo's turret. The only thing that stopped him from that being a perfect play was Vetro had very smartly repositioned into the south, had the shots onto J-Smooth, and managed to reload in time to save Photo. And even then, it didn't matter because Rival still managed to clean it up.
Yeah, I definitely like that strat out of Rival. That's something you want to see out of them every single battle. But they just haven't been able to get that consistency. And on top of it, the strategy they played anyway was dependent on individual player skill quite a bit. And at this level of play, everyone's quite good at the game. So you can't just say, my guy's going to beat your guy 1v1, because really, that's not going to happen every time.
Yep, and one thing that we glanced over there for a second that I just want to point out, Vetro, for all you playing Fantasy, did 3,400 damage and 2 kills, and Knight on Rival did 3,500 damage and 4 kills. So not bad there out of the top two performers from both of these teams. Knight's really been a superstar for Rival since jumping into this lineup. Had multiple rounds where he pretty much clutched it single-handedly and kept them in the fight. Hasn't been enough to turn Rival's whole season around yet, though. We move on to battle number 4, lineups Eclipse, 250Bs, 2 IS-7s, a Batchat, 4005 Stage 2, and an RU-251. Rival, on the other hand, 3 50Bs, an E5, a Kronwagen, and 2 T10s. I was worried there for a second we had a DC because T1 was not moving.
It was waiting for traffic.
It was waiting for traffic.
Waiting for traffic.
Waiting for the rest of the team to get out, get to the positions first. Making sure he doesn't block him because he's not going anywhere fast.
Oh, for a moment I thought he was going to peek mid, try and do those opening shots over into the west side, as you'll see out of the occasional 4005. But no. I think this is going to be an attack on the number 2 cap. Very typically from Eclipse, they'll be sending their 4005 along with No Nick, No Skill in the bat chat towards the hill. They'll be sending their 50Bs and IS-7s low ground, who will then push up the 7-8 line. And later on, they'll try and kind of pinch on the section of the map known as around Charlie 7 and the surrounding grid squares there. That's in the northeast corner of the map. If they don't find anything there, they'll just place that RU-251 on cap, I expect, and try and force a fight with Rival. It'll all come down to Rival's response at that point. And so, Rox, the question is, will it work? Is there anything you see happening right now from Rival that's going to disrupt this attack? Anything from Rival right now that's going to that makes you worried that this isn't going to pan out as we see it?
Well, they have their 2 T10s, the heavy tanks coming in the south, and that's kind of different from what we normally see, because we normally see heavy tanks as the anchor tanks, and the 50Bs are the tanks that flex around. Instead, they're setting this up to have the T10s down south be the tanks that'll push in late, apply that pressure down there. And then the 50Bs are going to be the ones holding the crossfires, using that burst to really knock down a push. And J-Smooth takes a shot from the 4005 and loses almost all of his HP.
Ouch. That hurts. But nice shot. That's from T1.
Diabetic, the south end of the church up on the hill.
Yeah. We'll have to see if he's able to sink another one of those this match, as he's actually just about reloaded and ready to have another swing at it. Although, I think he's going to be moving to counter out the position the Kronwagen is currently in. Oh, no, he's going to actually stop. Eclipse might be predicting a counter push from Rival. I think that's what they're feeling right now.
Well, if you look at the lineup here, it looks like they're actually going to shift 50Bs into the south.
Yeah, at the exact same time they're going to do that. But I noticed that the 4005 was looking to cover Tigers at the same time, which tells me that eClipse, which indicates that eClipse must be predicting some kind of counter push, right? They expect Rival to do
They
what
want to use Tigers as bait.
Yeah, they realize Tigers is going to be bait, but they're also going to cover him and make Rival pay. If
bait is fine as long as you punish them on the other end of it. If you lose a tank, you better make sure that you do at least that and then some in return.
Exactly. And now
Dark God Zim all of a sudden has 26 HP.
Oh, what did he do?
Took a shot from the E3 in the window at A4.
And just barely survives. Gotcha. So
Tigers is actually deciding not to be bait in time because the T10s and the 50Bs all came up behind looking for him, and now they're all spotted. That 4005 going to get another shot off?
Oh, he's looking for it.
He's going to look for that shot on Commander J.
Yeah, he's going to try and slow roll out, but he gets himself spotted.
Oh, he gets spotted, so he has to back off now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to stick around for that. But the damage is being dealt, so it's happening. And T1's just going to give up and move north. He doesn't want to risk taking too much damage.
Well, and now Rival are up against this 8 line, so now they're pretty much safe from anything on the hill, so they don't have to worry about him. They can just focus on killing Tigers and Photo.
Oh, no, T1 actually is going to be able to zero in on that 50B. Who was that in the far south? That's
Unknown one creeping around.
Oh, no, poor Unknown one.
He's backing off. I think he realizes that may be happening.
But now he's cut off from the rest of the team. He can't move into support in this brawl, which is about to happen. Of course, the 4005 is also unable to support quite as well. But I think this really negatively impacts Rival more than it hurts eClipse. Although eClipse could certainly do with getting their 4005 onto another target. I'm sure they'd love to be able to get him get a shot into the Kronwagen or something.
Tigers gets a nice shot into Zakum. Actually, it wasn't Tigers, it was 50B behind them. Tigers snaps the one off into flak, though, for 505. 490 Alpha Gun on that IS-7.
And there, a little bit of damage finally going into photo finish. And look,
Rival's just bleeding so much for every inch they try to take to retake this cap. But the funny thing is there's actually no cap pressure from eClipse. They just have the position. Rival's forcing it, and they're bleeding constantly. Vetro takes down Flak. J-Smooth does take down Dark God Zim, and No Nick takes down Executus.
Okay, that works out. This is just going just piece by piece right into eClipse's hands. They know what's going on. They've got a solid handle on their opponents. I don't think Rival's going to be able to break this defense. This is only a matter of time probably for eClipse. I bet there's solid play, solid response from Rival, but eClipse knew what was coming, and that's what changed it. Because eClipse just knew inside and out what Rival's response was going to be to their attack, they were able to respond appropriately. They didn't overplay their hand on cap, and
T1 Diabetic takes down Commander J from behind. Zakum is a one-shotter for Tigers. Tigers is going to come around the corner and finish him off. No Nick, no skills, going to head south, try to get out and around, help them with Unknown One. T1 Diabetic's going to bring that Doom Cannon in, try to catch off Unknown One from behind.
Yep, and Unknown One's just going to run away on his reload. Everyone from Rival is in full flight, and that means this should be over in a matter of moments.
Knight goes down to Vetro. And now Unknown One trying to run away. But little does he know that T1 Diabetic and this 4005 is waiting around the corner. He pre-fires, he aims, he fires in 1700 from T1 Diabetic.
Good catch.
Having a great night tonight. He's been putting up a lot of damage. T1 Diabetic is a player that used to do very well in fantasy in seasons past. Kind of fell out of the spotlight, and so far, at least today, he's showing why that used to be and maybe getting into some form that eClipse really needed.
Yeah. Right. Solid play. There's not much to say about that one. I felt like Rival went for a very typical attack for Rival. eClipse seemed to know what was up, and when they predicted the play, they countered appropriately. It's really straightforward. Just I got to appreciate it from eClipse, but it's almost too easy for him.
Yep, well, I think a lot of this comes down, once again, to Tigers. I think T1 Diabetic is showing this sudden surge in form again because Tigers opens up so much for him. And look at how much damage he did. 4,000, 2 kills, 65 fantasy points. Tigers himself, 2,400 and 1 kill, 68 fantasy points. And then Vetro only getting 51 off this game, provided his average on the season is rather high. 1,800 damage, 2 kills. Not bad. Commander J, Executives doing what they could for Rival, but not enough ultimately. And then the T10 of Slack on the bottom there getting caught out. Not really able to do a whole lot. Ate a lot of shells when he made that initial push.
All right. So let's move on from Himmelsdorf. I think Himmelsdorf is a good closed book. Rival got a win, then wasn't able to quite hold on a defense, but I think that's mostly Eclipse. Now, Eclipse, I think it is mostly Rival for battle number 3. They did a great job right there. That showed what Rival is all about and why they're able to take battles or at least portions of a match off of teams that normally would be expected to play super well. But let's talk about Ghost Town. Moving on to this one, what do you expect? What's the situation with Rival, and what's the situation with Eclipse?
Well, something with Rival, they've only played it once. They have a 0% win rate on Ghost Town, but they haven't really played it a whole lot. They had that one defense they ended up losing on.
Yeah.
Now, I know, I will say this from personal experience.
Yes.
Seasons past, Rival on Ghost Town has been something that you do not want to be in front of. I'll say that. Now,
because it's a brawl map, right?
It's a brawl map. Their coordination in those sort of brawls, point blank, they understood the map. They knew the rotations. Now, once again, this comes back from a couple seasons ago, and their form has obviously dropped since. Now, if they can go back to that, because they really haven't been playing Ghost Town much,
yes.
If they can get back, find that same form, they could give Eclipse a run for their money. And to be fair, this is a map where Eclipse really haven't played it a whole lot either, and they actually have a worse record on it. They are just 1 for 3 on it. So, worse in a way. They've played it